Brutal, man.
Yep. Just listen to my music right? It's too loud.
Welcome, everybody. This is today is November 18, 2025. This is the Hannah City Village Council meeting. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in the moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated. Danny, are you here to watch this evening, sir?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, Danny. Chris is with electric aggregation.
He's here to talk about our rates, the energy we buy.
Oh, okay, so he's one for Nathan.
Correct.
Okay. So then, Chris, we see you're up, and we have you next on the agenda, electric aggregation and energy rate update.
So, Chris, I've gave the document that Nathan sent me with the rates on it. I've got in front of the board.
Okay, yeah. So I'll go over that proposal that Nathan sent over that we developed today. So what we're presenting tonight is two options from suppliers. Actually, three options with two different suppliers. My apologies. One from Homefield Energy and one from AEP Energy. All pricing would start with the December 25 meter reads. And then we have options either through May of 26, June of 26, May of 27, or June of 27. The options that Nathan and I would like to present to you guys as recommendations tonight would be looking at either a all-in rate through June of 26 with Homefield Energy of 0.08225 per kilowatt hour, or the other options would be the May of 27 term at 8903, or the June of 27 at the 8898. The all-in rate, what that includes is the supply energy cost. It includes the other four line items for the tariffs, which is the capacity, transmission, ancillary, and line losses. And all five of those components equal your total all-in commodity cost. That does not include delivery or taxes. That is all controlled by the utility and approved by the Illinois Commerce Commission. Your other option that could save you a little bit more money, if you go scroll down underneath AEP, the 12-month day-ahead index average for the supply only for the last 12 months came in at 0.041589 cents per kilowatt hour. If we take that and we compare it to where the future rates are at, it roughly an estimated savings of 0.018171 per kilowatt hour through the May of 27 term, or 30.41%. The estimated day-ahead index with the average from the last 12 months plus the four tariff line item commodities for the commodity is 0.070859. So let me break this down. So there is potential savings if you go with a variable rate product over a locked in all-in rate moving forward, depending upon the risk tolerance of you, the village of Hannah City, You could save money more than over locking into an all-in rate, but if you're more budget oriented and want to know what you're going to be spending, then you would want to look at an all-in rate. And at this point, as of today's prices, Home Field Energy has a better rate than AEP does at this point. Prices, we do believe, are going to continue to go up with the futures markets due to the increase on capacity with the AI centers, the data centers, and Bitcoin. So over the next several years, electric rates could continue to climb. So if you want to have some price certainty through either June of 26 or June of 27, then you'd want to look at an all-in rate. I still believe it. I've sold a lot of day-ahead index in my 26 years, and I have probably about 85% of my customers on day-ahead index now. If you look at a historical basis, the day-ahead index does outperform future fixed rates for the energy-only part of the commodity. So, our recommendation again would be either for price stability, you would look at an all-in. If you want to look to save more money than an all-in rate, but look at it on a historical basis, an average of a 12-month time frame, the day-ahead index should outperform the future fixed rates.
So just in the way of background and setting the table here, so we have two things when it comes to energy. We have the aggregation, that's not what we're talking about.
Correct. That is not. I'm talking about the Village of Hannah City's main accounts that you guys have.
Correct. So this is our buildings. This is our lift stations. This is the lagoon. Those types of things. And so we go through Nathan, who couldn't be here tonight, for those rates. So of the fixed rates, I think I heard you say that the shortest one was your highest recommendation on the fixed side. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you want to just do something to get you by till we know what capacity will be starting June of next year after the auction, you would want to look at doing the December of 25 to June of 26 with Home Field. If you want some more price, control, look to lock in, I would look at a June of 27 term.
Okay.
So let me do some quick calculations, and I'll tell you the difference between those with your historical data. So the difference between doing a June of 26 to a June of 27 term is literally only $185 difference if you want to lock in a longer term based on your current historical usage of 274,000 kilowatt hours.
And you re-established that based upon the new solar array, correct?
This, as of right now, this is based on, yes, what the current load is at this point in time. So it could be less than the $185, depending upon if your production does better, then you're going to use a lot less than the 274,000.
So to me, I guess then the question is, do you feel that you want to be safe and lock in the all-in rate, or do you want to roll the dice on the other side and see if we can save the 30%?
Their recommendation is the all-in.
I mean, I think, Chris, if we put a gun to your head, I think you would tell us to look at the day to roll the dice on the other one, wouldn't you?
If it was me, yes. I'm just doing another quick calculation of what the difference annually it roughly is. So you're looking at a potential savings of about $5,000 a year right now, based on that usage and the difference between the day-ahead index all-in rate of the 70859 versus that 8898.
And just as a reminder, it's good that we're saving $5,000 on our energy, but it means the payout on the solar pushes out further, right? Because we're not saving as much.
I've learned that for people that have solar, I have some people that does all-ins. I have some people that do energy only. It depends upon who installs it and their recommendations of how they would like to see the credits and everything come through. But yes, the cheaper the price, the longer the solar array is going to take to pay off.
Again, good problems to have. Saving money over money. What do you guys think?
In June, they're coming out with, that's when they do the bid for the new rates?
Yeah, so around April to May, late April, early May, the Ameren MISO auction will take place of what the capacity rates will be. And then shortly thereafterwards, Ameren posts what their bundled rates are right before June starts of what the rate to compares are.
And you anticipate, based upon my conversations with Nathan, that we're gonna see an increase at that point?
I believe next summer, I think it's going to be like this summer, where residents, we're going to pay anywhere from 12 to 14 cents per kilowatt hour with Ameren. I have heard that small commercials could be paying upwards towards 16 cents next year. Again, everything's so volatile and so flowing right now. I mean, if we can get some more coal plants and natural gas plants online to help the demand problems with more reliable power, I believe, long term that we're going to see rates come down. The unfortunate part is right now we've seen too many coal plants go offline that need to be online.
Just for comparison, switching to the aggregation, we're in the aggregation, and tell me, this is what Nathan said to me, and if I get it wrong, tell me. But it begins in December. We believe that the aggregation rates and the Ameren rates are going to be comparable for 6 months, which is how long our aggregation will last. The problem is, and the Ameren might actually be a little bit cheaper. The problem is if you opt out of the aggregation, then you're locked into Ameren for 10 months, is it?
So if a resident or a small commercial under 15,000 kilowatt hours opt out of the municipal aggregation, I don't care what city it is, wherever city it is, if they opt out, they have 60 days to find a supplier. If they don't find a supplier on their own or opt back into the aggregation, they have to stay with the utility for another 10 months for a total of 12. So next summer, the people that opted out, if Ameren goes dramatically high, are going to probably be very upset.
So that's the decision point for people on the aggregation now, which is stay in at a comparable rate and have the option to maybe go lower in the summer. The only reason I bring it up as part of this context is the very first all-in rate ends at the same time. So we'd be lined up with the aggregation and making another decision in 6 months.
Yeah, the aggregation goes through the May meter read, not June meter read.
Okay, close enough.
Yep.
So
what have we done historically? Like just to the next thing, or I would see us usually going on for like 2 years.
No, historically we've gone
a year and a half is the longest we've been, I think.
right, and then other portions it's been the 6 months where let's go at this rate and see where we go to the next rate.
So I think there's two questions. Do you want the stability of the all-in rate, or do you want to roll the dice on the potential to save more? And if you want the all-in rate, then do you want to, what length do you want to go? 6 months or a year? Or 6 months or a year and a half, I guess.
Is there any, Chris, I know it's hard to predict the future, but what are they talking about all-in rates come in June and July?
depending upon who you want to believe, they say it could be worse than this year for summer rates for people behind Ameren. I think it's going to be comparable. I really don't anticipate prices being higher. MISO did an adjustment to their auction. Instead of the summer rate or the summer capacity being $666.50, I believe they're revising it at $459 because they had a glitch in their system. So could prices again for capacity and everything get as high? I mean, I don't, if it was me, I don't anticipate residents or businesses to be much worse than it was this year if you're directly bundled with the utility.
But the point is, even at that, if we were only in 6 months, we might have the opportunity to lock in for another 6 months or a year at a lower rate and be better for the summer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And the thing is that, you know, if you do a short term, let's say you did the June of 26 right now, you know, we're going to watch the market, and, you know, based on what we're seeing, we could see prices come in below, you know, at or below wherever that, you know, price would be for if we locked in that all in rate right now. You know, Nathan and I and some of the suppliers are working to figure out on the municipal aggregation side, since the capacity seems like it's going to be an issue moving forward, how to do municipal aggregations differently, where we might have more like what the utilities have of a summer rate and a non-summer rate. So that's more things that we're looking into to figure out how to combat from going from 12 point whatever to 12.4 cents to down to 8.4 or whatever the Ameren is right now. I mean, that's a heck of a swing.
Yeah, if we're only going to do to the June 26th, then I think day ahead is definitely the way to go.
Agreed. So if day ahead, you don't have to lock in for a period of time. You can change it whenever you want.
You can override at any point in time, and you know, honestly, you're going to have on day ahead. You're going to the times you're going to see a blip, if any, would be January, February, and then the other 2 months would be July and August. But if you average it out on a yearly basis, you know, the day ahead still outperforms where the future fixed rates energy onlys are at and have for years. Plus, we know what the tariffs are going to be through May of next year. So we're just locking in one more month to get us some cushion by going to June of 26.
Rod, is that a motion?
That's going to be my vote. I vote, or I make a motion to do the day ahead.
I'll second that motion.
Going to June 26th.
June 26th.
Yeah, I'll agree with Ron.
So with day ahead, the AEP has the better day ahead index adder. So it'd be December 25 to June of 26 at the index adder of 0.00517 with AEP.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody was looking at.
So we have a motion and a second on that, Chris.
Yeah. I have a motion by Weaver, second by Johnson. Any further discussion? Everybody knows what we're voting on.
That's AEP Energy.
Yes. And we will roll call that. Weaver,
Yes.
Pearson,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Sidak,
Yes.
Bolt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Chris, do you have anything else for us?
I don't think so. Unless you have anything for me, we will get stuff, the contracts ready tomorrow, and we'll send them over to you via DocuSign to be signed tomorrow.
Okay. You're welcome to stay, but obviously you don't have to.
Yeah, I have a girl at a basketball game, so I need to head out.
All right.
That was through the June.
Thank you, Chris.
Not a problem. Thanks, guys.
Through the
Bye-bye.
June 26th.
Yes, that was from December
To June.
25 to June of 26. That moves us over to our meeting minutes. Everybody should have a copy of our November 4th meeting.
Make a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes as submitted.
Second.
A motion by Pearson, second by Johnson. Any further discussion, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Anything on engineering?
A treasurer's report.
Oh, yeah, treasure report.
Yeah, Cassandra's in training this week, but you got the, Sarah did the payroll and
Is that what
put together
told
the
us that?
treasurer's report, so she's
So really messed up.
cross-training.
Anybody have a red pen?
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything earth-shattering in there.
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and pay all outstanding bills. Second.
Motion by Pearson, second by Weaver. Any further comments, questions, concerns?
I saw we're paying the sheriff in there. Did you end up reaching out to them? No.
Yeah, they'll be at the next meeting, December 2nd.
So we'll roll call it. Pearson,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Sidak,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Weaver. Motion carries.
I will be so proud.
Yeah. The only thing under engineering is, as we talked last time, we completed the RFP for engineering. We posted it. Before we did that, I had a phone call with Brandon. I had a nice call with him. Obviously, I told him I asked him he should apply. We may be with the right person, so they should apply. We talked about the fact that we were going to retain them for the water tower and maybe other larger projects. Made sure he understood that it had nothing to do with him or Joe or anything like
Quality
that.
of service or anything.
Quality
like
of
that.
services. I told him, probably the best way to say it is we think Joe and Brandon are great for Hannah City, but we're not sure that Farnsworth always is, because we understand that you guys are under pressure to bill and get more projects and that kind of stuff. And so maybe a smaller firm might be better for us, but we would still look at their RFP. And then I also sent copies to Austin Engineering and then Moore and Kerr. So that's where that stands.
They haven't heard back from any of them?
Nope. And we gave them till January 1st.
Okay. Sean, Turner's report?
We've just been working on revisions for Title VI and starting to look at Title V. So we're hoping to get the code book, at least Title VI, done very quickly here and get moving on Title V, which is Title V is business regulations. So if anybody has any thoughts on that you'd like to give to Brian, so Brian can let me know. That's what that title encompasses.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Anybody have any questions, John? Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Administrator's report, Baylor.
All right, we're halfway through the fiscal year. Can you believe it? Another fiscal year, halfway through month 6. So October core funds, if you don't adjust anything, we had income of 150, a little better than we thought. Expenses were way higher. I'll speak to that on the adjusted side. We had $77,000 worth of real estate expenses, and then we also finished the lagoon shed windows and doors that we did the HVAC and the windows and doors out there. So those were capital expenditures that I backed out of the operational dollars. So if you do that, then we're positive 13,542. The next shows the breakdown of general unemployment, water, and sewer. Obviously, because of those capital expenditures, we were negative in a couple of cases, but we backed those out on the adjusted form. and we were barely positive on the general and barely positive on water. So not a great month. We didn't bring in enough revenue over expense to cover all of our capital expenditures, but that's not unusual as we get farther into the year. We don't have as much property tax coming in. So core funds adjusted, we were positive 13,452. General was positive 1,500. Seems like all of our taxes are up. Property, income, sales, gaming, everything was up. Our expenses were worse than budget. Primary thing there is we had our one-time only liability insurance of like 20 grand, and we didn't budget for it for a given month. We divided it over all 12. We need to change that, but that was something that impacted us. Water was positive. I continue to see a trend. Our sales are slightly worse than what we budgeted, and our purchases are slightly better than what we budgeted. That's averaging out, but year to date, we're covering our capital, so that's good. Sewer was positive. Property tax was better, and then the insurance for the lagoon hit us as well. And then garbage is basically break even. MFT for the month, income, no expense, and that'll be the same way through the end of the fiscal year. We should not have any more expenses on MFT. October TIF, we did have $52,000 expenses. We did spend the demo of the buildings. We took out of the TIF because it was removing blight. And then there's also sidewalk expenses in there.
Okay, we can move that account to negative, or
I'm sorry?
Is that account negative then right now?
It is. Well, no, we'll have to look at the year-to-date number, but for the month we lost money. Our income over expense, we lost $7,000.
Okay.
Yep. Year-to-date will be fine because we've got all the property tax that we haven't given back yet. If you look at the October BDD, then we were positive just barely. We had a grant a couple of grants I think that we spent money on. So year-to-date summaries, I don't think I need to go through the monthly summaries for MFT, and that I don't think I have to go through. Year-to-date core funds, so this is not adjusted. We're still positive at 85,836, which is amazing given all the stuff that we've spent. But if you adjust it out, we're at 314,511, and you can see the thing that's adjusted out at the bottom. So 183,000 in real estate expense, another 130, or real estate income, another 138 in real estate expenses. We did the alleys for 151, sewer loan for 130, and the lagoon shed for 11. Year-to-date core funds not adjusted, and year-to-date core funds adjusted. So general, we're positive variance of 179, unemployment 239, water 87, sewer 43. So in each case, I think we're covering not just our expenses, but our capital year-to-date. Core funds adjusted again. All the taxes seem to be up. Everything's positive. Sewer was slightly lower. I think the Illinois funds were a little bit lower because we spent a little more money out of that. The expenses are better than budget. We're seeing the electricity savings of the lagoon, so that's coming through.
Well, the sun should keep shining.
Yeah. Year-to-date MFT, so income of 30,000, expenses of 50, but our expenses should be done, so that should catch up in the next 6 months and we'll be positive for the year. Year-to-date TIF, so our property tax. So the reason we're off so much this is because it's hard to gauge the increment value that the property tax is going to go up. So we're going to see if I can't work with Jacob and Klein and find a better way to do that to make the budget a little bit closer. But this is the point on the TIF side. We are positive year to date, 242,575, but we're going to have to give 80% of the residential dollars back, so that number will come down quite a bit. Year to date BDD, this will be negative for the year. We plan for it to be negative for the year because of the sidewalk. But we have the cash to cover it. And then if you go to the last slide and look at the cash, our checking was at 403,000, our monthly variance. So we went down 177,000, but before you freak out, that's mostly because we moved a bunch of money down into the Illinois funds. That's why that's negative. Year-to-date variance is positive with 102. Savings was at 2,170,000. So you can see our monthly and year-to-date variance is positive, and then year-to-date variance, that's the most important number, very last one. We have $308,000 more in cash than we did 6 months ago. That's the punchline. And then the cash breakdown on the spreadsheet. Again, moved a lot of money down into Illinois funds. Streets is, the building and grounds is negative because of the property. Streets is negative year to date because of the alleys. We'll catch up on MFT, and the BDD was the sidewalk.
Do we know what our monthly
What?
was for the?
Oh, I think she gave it at the last meeting. It was 7,800, somewhere in that range. You're talking about Illinois funds?
Yeah, so that's always first thing. Okay.
I think over the last 15 months, we brought in, I think the number's like right at 140,000, somewhere right in there.
78, 48, 18.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Brian?
Nope.
Committee reports. Mr. Pearson.
Everything that pertains to me is being covered in other sections.
Planning and zoning, Mr. Holt.
Nothing.
Nothing to report.
No, sir.
Sanitary sewer, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, Tazewell Community Service reached out to us. I think we briefly talked about this last month, about a program they have for low-income residents who are struggling with utility bills, and they sent just kind of some synopsis of how it works. The program works through grant funding. There's additional details. They said they can pay up to $500. It's for people who receive shut-off notices. An applicant can apply one time every 2 years. The program is through August of 2026. We can withdraw at any point of any time. The city can, and they will immediately inform applicants the program is not available in the city. We can inform residents about the program. The guidelines are listed on their website. We had originally put on here that there was a vote for it. I don't know if that's necessary. It's already being offered to our community, so
I put it there just in case if you felt you needed to vote to approve
it seems like a good thing for me, in my opinion. I mean,
we're not paying anything.
I think that's an important part. They work through a grant, so it's completely separate. We don't have to pay into anything, and there's nothing on our end. We just confirm the amount that's due for the resident, and then
Yeah,
there's not a ton more work for us.
And it says that if anything happens to the grant, somebody's already been approved for, it's earmarked for that person. They're still going to get the funds they need to be successful. So that's pretty awesome. It doesn't pull the rug out from under anybody.
You can apply one time for every 2 years. What about distribution funds? I see it says the customer's name would be on the check, but how long does that take?
So part of the deal is when they confirm that an applicant is approved, we take that statement as the payment while they cut the check and send it to us, so that we don't shut them off and accrue more fees or give them more penalties or anything like that. So then they're basically set, and they can also potentially pay not just what's past due for the disconnect, but bring them fully current for kind of a fresh start, which is nice.
Right. So our process really doesn't change a whole lot other than we verify and then.
But you're the one who brings it up first to them? Like, would they?
The applicant has to go to them and apply. So there's different, was looking at one of their other programs. They have to, I think, have a social security card and a photo ID and a few other things along with your show-off letter.
Would we put it on the Hannah City Happenings app? Or
Well, you can't offer it, right? If somebody's.
Yeah, so if someone is on the shut-off list and this is why I wanted it. There was someone last month that had just been laid off and their unemployment hadn't kicked in yet, and this is a perfect opportunity to say, hey, reach out to them and see if you
What'll happen with us is when they say, well, can you do anything for me?
Yeah.
Our first offer will be the Tazwood, and then our second would be what is currently our first, which is a payment plan. But if they have a chance to pay in full through Tazwood, then that's better for us and better for them. And
Yeah, that's I mean, it's something we can just say, you know, we can post on our app saying struggling with utility bills.
I think the only thing is it does have to be someone that's received a shut-off letter. It can't just be bad debt.
Right.
Is the only thing, but.
So can I ask one more question though? So I know it talks about utility. Obviously, I'm reporting out on sanitary or water. Does it also work for Ameren?
They do have separate programs for Ameren and for like propane.
Cool.
And they may have reached out recently because Peoria County somehow lost their stuff. So now Peoria County now goes to Tazewell.
Nice.
So we'll see how it goes, and if it becomes a headache or if we don't like it, then we can always turn it off. But I put vote on here only because I didn't want to not have it on here and have you guys say, well, we should vote on it.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a program that we need to vote on. I think it's something already in place. It's not costing the village any money. All we have to do is say, yes, we'll accept, you know, them saying, yes, we're going to cut a check for you guys at that point to hold the fees and everything for them. So.
Cool. Next thing I have on here is the water rate increase discussion. So, as Brian had mentioned in our email, to our knowledge right now, we don't anticipate an increase this year. But we have been surprised before. So what we had done in the past, if I am remembering right, didn't we do a 2.7 like every single year and just vote on it for it to be anticipatory? So
actually, the way the ordinance is written is it automatically happens January 1st unless you vote to change it. And the 2.7 was based upon before we had the major increases. That's what Illinois Americans' average annual increase was. So we got caught up, and then we thought if we just did 2.7 each year, we would stay caught up.
But then they hit us with a huge twice. So we've just let that keep going.
Yeah. So currently what we're at is our options are to do nothing. It's going to implement that 2.7 that's already in place, that 2.7 increase, or we could vote to either increase or decrease from the 2.7. After listening to it makes sense now with what you guys are saying, my personal thought would be just to keep it as is, that 2.7, to just keep accruing that. Unless you guys know of something that's coming that I don't.
Well, the pattern that with Illinois American has been is they hit us hard, then they took a year off. They hit us hard. This would be the year off. So the question is, are they going to hit us hard again the following year?
So we would have 2 years of 2.7, so that's 5.4%. So when they hit us hard last, what was the percent increase?
Like 40%.
Yeah.
So to me, the real debate is, do you want to lay another 2.7% on the residents now in anticipation that we'll get another major increase in a year? That's what we did last time. We went ahead and did the 2.7 because we said, well, that'll be when they come back the next year, it'll be 2.7 less that we'll have to put on them the following year, right? And I think an argument could also be made for, because they've had two major ones, let them sit and not increase it for a year and see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm only okay with the 2.7 if we make sure that we take it off of whatever the increase is that's over 2.7.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, that kind of open to either way. It'd be nice to not have the 2.7, but scary for next year.
Yeah.
And again, the pattern is every other year, but I don't know that they're going to continue to do that or not. I mean, because they've gone up, 60? I think in the two major ones, it was a total of like 65% or something like that.
Yeah.
I knew it was high. I didn't know.
And it was for infrastructure.
Yeah, it was like 40.
And I haven't seen them do shit around here, partner.
It was high. It was a lot. We had just gotten to the point where we thought 2.7 will keep us forever, right? And then bam, bam.
It's like you put plastic in.
So what about you, Rod? What do you think? Just keep the 2.7, remove it? What do you think?
I think keep it at the 2.7.
Go ahead and implement a 2.7 increase in January.
They don't need to do anything. It's already on.
Correct. We just implement the ordinances in place. If that's what you guys want to do, you don't have to vote. It's already.
I mean, I'm fine with keeping the 2.7.
I think it's a safety net for the village. It's not only a safety net for the village, but for the residents. even though, I mean, I'm a resident, so it's gonna go up 2.7, yeah.
Less than the blow in a year if it does go up.
Yeah,
And that 2.7 is, we make sure that's accumulative. So like if they don't raise anything for 6 years and then they do, we take that 2.7 for that 6 years and then apply it to whatever that rate increase is.
Yeah, what we'll do is look at our goal is that our operating income and expense is break even plus the amount of capital, and I can't remember what the capital is. We put $72,000 a year. So our goal is only to be able to pay our bills and put aside the $72,000 that we've designated for water lines and the water tower. We're not trying to make money, we're just trying to break even. And if we see efficiencies, which we've seen some of those, we can adjust that. You see it. I do that monthly tracking to see if our leaks are going up or down.
What is our leak at?
Jim hasn't done the year. He'll do the year end soon. But it came down last year. I think we were below 20.
And he's fixed a few this year. Few bigger ones.
Yeah. So just implement the ordinance as is.
It'll take us, I just did the math, it'll take us 37 years to double in price if we go 2.7% each year. So, I mean, I'm not saying I want to kick the can down the road, but it's not too crazy.
and with the rates that, even if we do 2.7, and with the rates that we currently have, we're still lower than most local communities. I think Washington itself is over $100 just for water. It doesn't include sewer or garbage.
As much as I love the idea of lowering prices, I don't trust Illinois American that much to not be proactive about it.
Exactly.
We had this discussion once before, quite a while ago, where we had talked about possibly publishing on the app, like our average versus other communities. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah. It's hard to get the data.
It is hard to get the data. Okay. I was just thinking, like, might be something to consider, especially if we're going to raise the 2.7 and then we're thinking next year could be rough. Might be just something.
I'm thinking next year won't go up. It will be the following
year.
The other thing that came up is if we went out and did our own little research, and called the communities around here, then all of a sudden we published, hey, if you live in Hannah City, you pay 25% less for water than you do in Farmington.
You know what happens then? Illinois American raises our rates.
Not just that, but there could be.
It's not good community
relations.
Yeah,
right. I mean, I think a market-based understanding is good. It's just hard to know how to do it.
So I guess it sounds like the consensus is to keep the 2.7. We don't need to vote for it because it's already in place. So if that's the case, then I can move on to water. New template, so bear with me, okay?
I changed the form. It's my fault.
So I have we sent out 22 shutoff letters, with 5 actual shutoffs, totaling $5,387.73, 5387.73. We have. I think we decided we're not saying that. I have 1 in level play. Approximate gallons sold, 2,189,405. 2,189,405. And if I'm missing any numbers, I'd be happy to repeat. I just don't remember.
That's the other thing that we
Foreclosures.
We have 0. So I didn't know if you wanted me to. So we have 0 shutoffs and foreclosures.
That's just 0 foreclosures.
Cool.
Okay, so my question for you.
No.
Do we want to just say we had 22 shutoff letters?
For the amount of
or is the 5 totaling the 5,000?
It's the 22 letters that total the 5.
Okay.
Right. The 5 is just information to let you know there were actually 5 shutoffs out of the 22 that we did.
Okay.
So 17 people paid. Okay.
Yep.
End of report. Sorry.
Buildings and grounds, Mr. Weaver.
Nothing to report on building and grounds.
Streets and alleys.
The next, the 2026 MFT program, talked about postponing for a year.
We don't have to, but we talked about it.
Now,
We've done our 5 years, so every road's been done. If we stayed on our plan, we'd go back to Murphy. I know you don't want to postpone too many years.
Yeah.
You want to keep us rolling, and I agree, but the question is, do we want to postpone a year, let that cash build up a little bit?
what do we normally get a year for MFT?
60?
65, maybe 60.
I thought it was 56.
How bad is that road?
I don't think it's too bad.
I guess I haven't been down it in a while. Is it a road that we can hold off on, or is it one that
That's just the one that we started.
That's just the one we started with the first year, so we break
because
it
we've
down.
been rotating, right?
Yeah, we've been rotating. Then it's just time to go
5-year
back.
plan.
5-year plan is up.
years.
And how many? Is there any streets and alleys that we did? Any streets and alleys that we didn't get?
No. The logic from the staff's perspective was, one, their boys are going to be working on the new building probably, so that's going to be extra work. So that gives them a break on the MFT side if they don't have to run the MFT program, and then it never hurts to build up the cash because we're down cash in other areas. So
Yeah.
But if we want to do it, we can put together a plan and do it. I mean,
Was there a discussion that at some point we were going to have to do like a major change to that road?
yeah, there's been discussion.
There's-
You would know more about it.
I think there's a dip in that road, isn't there, Rod?
We were going to have to like tear it up. And
Tear it up, put some foundation under it.
Right now in the street account, we have 394,000. And in the MFT account, we've got about 84,000.
And depending on how much base we had to put in that stretch there, that would be gone.
Yeah, well, we fixed some of those bad spots. Well, it's been several years ago.
Well, that's right. A couple of them.
Al did it.
Yeah, a couple of them were just top.
Yeah, well, no, we undercut it and put reject rock in there and C6. That was probably the time that we oiled and chipped it before we did it 5 years ago. So that's been 10 years ago at least, probably.
So if we did it 5 years ago, would this just be a tar and chip on the top layer? We wouldn't have to do that full tear down again, right?
We never do a full tear down.
When did we do when was that road completely, like, I thought it was recently, one of the alleys was recently, like, they dug it out and redid it.
That's all the alleys.
The alleys, we did
not
all
the road.
that way. They did the pulverizing on all the alleys.
So all the roads would just be tar and chip, and
Yeah,
then,
we never.
and the alleys we would just do tar and chip too, right?
From now on, yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to need to be touched in a long time. But
Yeah.
Yeah, so our original plan was to touch every road every 5th year, but we talked about after we got done with the first 5-year program, we'd reevaluate. I don't want to put words in Rod's mouth. If we skipped 1 year, I don't think he'd be too excited about skipping another year, but you might be willing to do one.
Yeah, one I would think would be how we want to go.
If Murphy is going to be more involved, if you paused it for a year, can you take some of the money that would have gone to that and reserve it specifically for that for the following year? Then it gives you a little bit more of a buffer.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we would still get our 60,000 for the MFC program.
Mm-hmm.
we just have a little bit more of a reserve.
We would just not use it this year and then use the majority of it next year. So
Yeah.
But to your point, the 390,000 was in case we ever needed to do something big. And we're still putting 60 grand a year into that 5,000 a month, I think, on the street side.
If we say we pause it now, and then in 4 months. Something happens during the winter and something needs to change. Can always go back.
So does that need a vote? To skip a year on the MFT?
No.
No, we don't have to vote for a project when we're spending money. We don't have to vote when we're not spending money.
Well, he still wants to do some spray patching next year, but I think that was it.
And we can take that out of what we already have. We don't have to
Out of
do
the
a project.
streets, yep.
We don't have to do a project for that.
Correct.
So, okay. So,
They all look good.
yeah, they do. So, is that it, Rod?
Yep.
CEDC, Mr. Sidak.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Sorry, I probably should have given you a heads up. There's a rural partners conference in February, but Jacob and Klein speaks at that thing, and every year they take somebody, and they invited us to come this year and talk about our economic development programs as part of the program.
So, are you going?
My thoughts exactly.
I thought you would go.
No, I'm far less eloquent than Brian.
Oh, he's not eloquent by any means.
End of report.
Administration report, I did not get those pulled. Thought Eric was going to be here.
Yeah, and they had another new format, but the Peoria County Sheriff's Department, they'll be here at the next meeting. And
James coming.
Yeah, and I gave them a list, and it included the reporting.
Okay. So November 14th at 14:16 hours, there was an accident, 1300 West Farmington Road.
What was that date? 16th?
No, 14th. And that's all I see right now. So, does anybody have anything to come before the board? Our next meeting is December 2nd. And then, are we going to do, see, that'll put our second meeting at the 16th. So the 16th will be then our holiday evening. Just so after the second meeting, we'll go out for some festivities locally.
The other thing is that night, if assuming you guys are okay with this, is we'll read the proclamation for the Public Works building. We did tell
Jim that we were going to be dedicating that in honor of him and his dad.
So they're going to attend that meeting at the beginning, and we'll read the proclamation and celebrate that with them. And my point is they can meet us afterwards if they want.
Yeah. Did we get any more on?
I sent you an email.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not a ton in there, but I did get you some information.
Okay. Okay. With nothing else, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Shauna. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you.
We're gonna hit on both.